Was some good and some really bad. To Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut last night, she finally heated up some from three. She wound up with a game-high 20 points. That's pretty good. But she had 10 turnovers. She had 0 rebounds as her Indiana Fever got blown out at Connecticut 92-71. Here was Caitlin after the game.
I think obviously I'm disappointed and nobody likes to lose. Like, that's how it is. But I don't think you can beat yourself up too much about, one game. I don't think that's going to help this team. Just learn from it and move on.
Okay. So, Rachel, what was your biggest takeaway from Caitlin's pro debut?
Look, she said that she was a little nervous at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Took her a while to settle in. I think we saw that. 10 turnovers, the most number for a rookie debut in WNBA history, and that's partly due to the minutes she played and all of that stuff. But I also think it's a function of what Diana Taurasi was talking about, and it kept saying it the whole time. Both things can be true. Both things can be true. Caitlin Clark can be exceptional and may go on to have one of the best ever careers in the WNBA, and the level of competition is so much higher than she is used to. It is going to take her a while, as Diana said, to equalize and figure out how to play against bigger, faster, stronger players. The WNBA is so sort of talent squeezed and focused in the fact that there's only 144 players. In fact, of the 36 players drafted this year in April, only 13 of them made opening day rosters.
Really?
So you have players who were good enough to be drafted and yet didn't even make the roster on opening day because there is so much talent in the W and still so few spots for them to play in. So you are going against the best of the best of the best every time you go out on the court. It will take a while for her to adjust to that because she just hasn't seen that so far.
Yeah. Okay. Had she seen ever a Dejanay Carrington who took her face-to-face, nose-to-nose? I'm not sure she's faced that in college basketball. And Dejanay, to her credit, took the challenge. She didn't have any help, really. It was one-on-one defense. She fought over every pick, fought through every screen. And she's not taller than Caitlin. They're both 5'11", but she's just stronger. She's in her 4th year, and she got physical, and Caitlin took a shot in the mouth at one point and had a little bit of a bloody lip. And where it manifested itself the most was in being able to just protect the basketball. She was having a hard time. So real quick, for those who might not have seen it, here are the 10 turnovers, and you can see how they were induced. What happened in these 10 turnovers? Some careless, some you're just at another level. A little bit high and wild. Not a good idea.
I was going to say, that's an experience, right?
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
In the college game, the defense is not closing out that quickly.
And then she got her pocket picked by Dejanay right there. Yep. Whoops, just no.
I mean, those women
Taller,
are all over,
longer,
right?
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to be for her. And by the way, she will figure this out. She is a super high IQ player.
She walked on that one,
But she's not there yet, which is fine. She's a rookie. It's her first game.
First game. Okay, a little late and behind. Okay, so we get it. It was a long, hard night, and her team fought back at one point and actually looked like it was about to get back in the game. And so it was hard to overcome 10 empty trips because that's a lot of empty trips. So what I did like about her was she shot the ball well. She did not look nervous when she launched. And she was launching just the way she did at Iowa. So real quick, for those who might not have caught the game, here are her 11 three-point attempts, and she did make 4 of them. But that was a good shot. That looked good coming off her hand. And this was a little bit more contested, but still not a bad shot.
She got to her spots. She wasn't afraid to shoot through traffic.
Boom. And boom. That looked like Iowa.
And that's her bread and butter, right?
She got fouled there.
So in a game where you might be a little off your feet and a little bowled over, you go to what you know.
That worked, and this is in the 4th quarter, and then she got bumped and made another one. And then that was highly contested. And then one more wide open, and she missed a little left. Okay, so the point is, I think her three-point shooting will translate. And I think it will immediately translate. And I don't think it's going to take much time. And what got me was I did have the game on opposite the Knicks, so I couldn't focus completely. But at the end of the game, I called up the box score, and I thought, well, wait a second, she had 20 points? Because she is a natural-born scorer. She's going to score. She's going to get to she got the free throw line and made all 6 of her free throws. And when you can shoot threes like that, it's going to add up. So remember, her team had the #1 pick for a reason.
That is exactly what I was going to say.
They're not very good.
They're not going to be as good. And by the way, the Suns are a top 5 team.
They're a top 5 team.
The Sun is
The
a top
Sun,
5
yeah.
team. I hate these collective noun
Yes.
team names.
I do too.
But anyway, they are a top 5
They were in
team,
the
and you could see it.
semifinals
Yeah,
last year against the Liberty.
Exactly. I mean,
Okay.
you can see all of it. I did really like the soundbite you played though after the game. She said exactly what you want to hear, which is, I need to learn from it, but I'm not going to beat myself up from it. She said that's not going to help this team. That is just, I mean, you couldn't get a better reaction to that. She's got so much poise. She's had so much heaped upon her shoulders. She is expected to go out there and represent women everywhere every time she takes the court. No one in the NBA is expected to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, Anthony Edwards, if he has a bad game, the only people that are affected by that are the Timberwolves and the Timberwolves fans, right? When Caitlin Clark has a bad day, all of a sudden it's a statement on what it means for women in America and can women play basketball and should anyone be paying attention to this, right? And the fact that she doesn't crumble in those situations, that she did have the highest number of turnovers ever for a rookie making her debut, and her answer isn't, oh, it doesn't matter. She didn't say that. She said, absolutely, you can't win games that way. I need to work on it. But she also made the point that it's not going to help her or the team, she made the point of saying, to beat herself up and go into some sort of tailspin. I thought it was an incredibly poised, mature response. I have been bowled over. I mean, she is young. We just kind of forget. She looks so authoritative out there.
Yeah, she does.
She has been so self-possessed. And I loved seeing that last night because I think that is an indicator more than anything else.
Have we put too much on her shoulders, the media, fans, or the league, to sort of lift up the WNBA by herself? Because she has, just her presence alone has.
She has given a big rocket boost. I think the WNBA had been gaining steam over these past few years. The women's game in general had been gaining steam over these past few years. So it's not like she went from 0 to 60. But she came and gave it a bit of a rocket boost. There's no question about the way she has raised the popularity and attention on the women's game. Billie Jean King went through the same thing. When she beats Bobby Riggs, you have that being a national statement, right? And every time she goes on the court, it meant something. I think that is unfortunately the burden of female athletes in America. We are still not letting them just be themselves, letting them just play their own game. It has to mean something so much bigger. I hope we get to the point where she can just play and it's just a game. And the next person who comes out and the next person who comes out, it's not a statement or a referendum on an entire gender. But unfortunately right now, that is how we are looking at it. And she is handling it.
All right. To Diana Taurasi's point, every night she's going to face a Dejanay Carrington, and they're going to come to the arena taking the challenge because deep down they're thinking, well, what were we, just chopped liver before you got here? So I'm going to show you that you just graduated, that this is, you just took a big step up. And you could just see from the start, Carrington took it like it was the game of her life. Well, Caitlin's going to have to deal with that. And what do they play? It's like a 40-game schedule. I believe it's 40. So she's going to get beat up and worn down pretty quickly because the games are just going to keep. She said after the game, I got to get ready for another one. So I just got to flush this one and go to the next one.
Again, if you look at the total number of players in the WNBA, it's 144, right? The NBA has 450-something. So if you are the 200th best player in the NBA, you're above the 50% line. If you're the 200th best player in the NBA, you are
And yet,
but that has to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because she's building something not just for this game. She's building something for the entire season and hopefully for many years to come in Indiana. So maybe for the first 10 games, she does defer a little bit and teammates feel, okay, she's not too big for her britches. That's going to last.
It will.
For years in terms of that goodwill versus what she does in the first 10 games.
I see her taking over slowly but surely. And I also, there is some talent here. Aaliyah Boston, who was the, she was the rookie of the year last year. She didn't have a good game. She had 4 points and 6 rebounds. They did not play well against a much better team. But I think they have a chance to be decent. And I think they have a chance to win some games that you don't expect them to win, especially if she starts making 6 or 7 threes, because it's hard to overcome that. Way to go.